The Curious Case of the Clockwork Island. Chapter 1, The Grandfather Clock and the Cat. No one in the sleepy town of Doodlewick paid much attention to Horace Bumblethorpe anymore. Once lauded as the next great inventor of the age, he was now more likely to be seen arguing with pigeons than presenting at scientific conventions. His house, a crooked building at the edge of the town square, ticked and talked at odd hours due to the dozens of unfinished inventions that lined its creaky walls. It all began on a Tuesday, which Horace insisted was the most unpredictable day of the week, when his cat, Professor Pudding, knocked over an ancient grandfather clock. "Blast it, Pudding! That clock was older than my last haircut," Horace shouted, rushing over. To his surprise, a yellowed envelope had fallen out from behind the pendulum. On it was scrawled, "To whom it may concern, preferably someone with a sense of adventure and a working set of legs." Inside was a map. "Aha!" Horace gasped, adjusting his goggles. A treasure map. Or a trap. Or a terribly drawn sandwich menu. Either way, we must investigate. The cat meowed in what sounded suspiciously like agreement. Within the hour, Horace had recruited his old friend Lionel Featherstone, a retired stage actor who wore a cape to the grocery store and believed every outing was a performance. Together, they set off with Professor Pudding tucked into a carpet bag. Their destination, Clockwork Island, a place not found on any modern map but rumored to be filled with forgotten inventions, unsolved riddles, and one of the largest stashes of pirate gold never found. Chapter 2, A Boat Named Banana. Horace and Lionel commandeered a very questionable sailboat named the Banana, borrowed, without asking, from the town's board ferry operator, Mildred. "She'll never notice," Lionel said with theatrical flair. "She always naps on Wednesdays." "It's Tuesday," Horace replied. "Exactly." As they drifted out to sea, they realized the Banana had a peculiar feature: it only turned left. No matter how they adjusted the rudder, the boat continued its lazy circular path. Professor Pudding seemed unimpressed, lounging atop the helm as if it were all part of the plan. After several dizzying hours and an impromptu musical number from Lionel, titled Seasick and Fabulous, they spotted land, an island shaped uncannily like a pocket watch. Chapter 3, The Island That Ticked. Clockwork Island wasn't silent. In fact, it hummed, whirred, and ticked, as though the entire place was one giant mechanism. Giant gears rotated lazily across the hillsides. Trees with brass leaves gently clinked in the wind. And near the beach, a sign read, "Welcome. Please wipe your feet and mind the springs." They soon met a resident, a tiny woman in overalls with wild white hair and goggles strapped to her forehead. "I'm Tilda, caretaker of the island and watcher of the whimsy. You broke the seal, so you've got to finish the game." "Game?" Horace blinked. "Oh yes," Tilda said, handing them each a wind-up key. "You've got 8 hours to find the treasure, or the island resets. And trust me, you don't want to meet what comes with the reset." Before they could ask more, she disappeared in a puff of glittery smoke. Chapter 4, The Puzzle of the Pendulum Ponds. The first clue on the map pointed them to the Pendulum Ponds, a series of small lakes, each with a massive pendulum swinging overhead. Each swing carved an exact second into the water's surface. A sign read, "Only the brave may cross, and only when time aligns." "Well," said Lionel, flexing his knees dramatically. "We may need to synchronize our steps, dear Horace." "Bravery is fine," Horace muttered, "but I prefer calculations." They timed the swings and darted across the stepping stones, narrowly missing a soaking each time. Professor Pudding simply sat on Horace's head and meowed directions. At the far end, they found a brass statue of a pirate with a monocle. In its hand was a riddle. "Tick not with fear. Talk not with dread. Turn left at the smile. And right by the shed." "What smile? What shed?" Lionel huffed. "We'll find out," Horace said, pocketing the next piece of the map. Chapter 5, The Village of Forgetful Automatons. The map led them to a sleepy village populated entirely by mechanical townsfolk. Every few minutes, they would pause, whir, and forget everything they were doing. A baker automaton handed them a pie. "Thank you." Horace beamed. "Who are you?" the baker asked. "You just gave us this pie." "Did I?" "Oh no, I've been robbed." It took an hour of confused pie accusations, spontaneous line dancing, and being chased by a knitting robot before they realized the clue was hidden in the bakery's cuckoo clock. The cuckoo, instead of chirping, said, "Shed at noon. Smile at dawn." Chapter 6, Smiles, Sheds, and Shenanigans. At dawn, they found a cliff shaped like a smile and turned left. At noon, near a shed filled with clocks that only ran backward, they turned right. There they discovered a strange elevator powered by laughter. They had to tell jokes to power it. Lionel excelled. Horace was terrible. "Why did the watch break up with the calendar?" Lionel announced. "Because it felt out of time." The elevator surged upward. Even Professor Pudding chuckled. Chapter 7, The Trap of the Timekeeper Twins. At the peak, they encountered twin brothers, Tick and Tock, who insisted that only one of them told the truth. "Ask me anything," Tick said. "No, ask me," said Tock. "Which of you is lying?" Horace asked. "He is." "I am." It quickly devolved into a slapstick argument involving mallets, rubber chickens, and one unfortunate pie. Eventually, Professor Pudding pulled a lever labeled Reset Nonsense Mode, and both brothers straightened up. "Treasures that way," they said in unison, pointing behind them.
Chapter 8, The Clockwork Vault. Deep within the mountain, they found the Clockwork Vault, a door with a clock embedded in it. A pleku rid. To open me, you must rewind the past. Horace took out the old grandfather clock Pendulum had saved. Inserting it into the vault face, the clock spun backward. The door creaked open. Inside was not just gold, that there was plenty, but also books of lost inventions, music boxes, wind-up gadgets, and a sandwich menu. It was all three. Horace whispered. Chapter 9, The Reset Countdown. Tilda reappeared, this time with tea. "You made it just in time." The island began to tremble. Just beneath the earth groaned. A massive cuckoo emerged from a mountain. "That's Gerald," Tilda said. "He sings the reset." Loudly. Horace held up the map. "We don't want to lose this." "Then wind your keys and leave. Take what you can carry. The island always changes." Chapter X Home again TikTok. Back in Doodlewick, they returned the banana, Mildred never noticed, and displayed their findings at Horace's now much more visited workshop. The town hailed them as heroes. Horace started teaching again. Lionel staged a one-man musical titled Time is of the Fabulous. Professor Pudding got a throne. And on Tuesdays, when the wine ticked just right, Horace could swear he heard a distant cuckoo call. The end. Subscribe for more storytelling adventures. Like, comment, and share if you enjoyed the journey.